Hello, this is the TradeSite US Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday the 13th of January and Friday the 14th. As usual, we typically do not do a market preview for Fridays, and we definitely won't be doing one this Thursday for Friday because it's leading into a 3-day weekend, so I wouldn't expect much, especially after what we've seen. It's been a very strange start to the year, very inconsistent, a lot of very dull days, especially the mornings when usually you would expect to see action. It just hasn't been what we're used to seeing in the markets in January. Not much we can do about it, but hopefully that will turn shortly. We have had some nice winners this week and last week anyways, and let's see if we can get back to work, but there's certainly not an environment for excessive or over trading. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form, and as you can see, not very far off the highs, really haven't pulled back. I mean, if you look at where we closed the year, we're not down much yet last year. S&P cash, so here's where we are. We gained 13.28 on the session. It's not a 13 sell signal because the 13 needs to be above the 8. And, I don't think we're there. Oh, sorry, on the S&P cash, we actually are just barely enough. If I go to projection mode, there's a 13. So we got a 13 sell signal now on the daily of the S&P. NASDAQ 100, which was up 60.97. Again, had the one big down day last week, and that's been most of it. Ever since then, nothing. But it did have the 13 sell signal late last year, and that's been the high so far. So market direction, or looking at the downside more than the upside, is the smart thing to do. 25 points up on the SOX today. This thing, what a mess. Look at this. Just look at the last 2 months as the back and forth choppiness of the SOX. Horrible. The biotech's down 68.61. That is not positive either. Looking for a, well, let's just say it's not positive when you're near the lows of the year after all this, especially in the biotechs. Russell 2000, Russell 2000 down 17.94, again near the lows of the year. So very negative stuff from that perspective. Crude oil 82.42 had a couple of up days here in the last week as it continues to rise, looking for a potential breakout in crude oil. Gold down $1, which gold doesn't ever seem to care about anything anymore. The advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ was negative 737, so more stocks down than up. On the New York, it was plus 84, so basically flat. The volume was only 4.3 billion. Now, this is not that interesting, very light volume. But here's the thing that is interesting, and again, keep in mind we've got that S&P cash 13 sell signal. We're still on a 13 sell signal in the NASDAQ 100. And now we look at the trend, and we talked about the big numbers that we're going to be dropping off finally here, especially today on Wednesday. So we got a 0.75 reading and a big number dropped off, and what that did was there's that 10-day moving average at 0.82. Remember, anything under 0.85 is a sell signal on the broad market when you get the trend reading. Last one was back in May. We had a brief dip after that, and then if you go back, I mean, it just doesn't happen very often, right? So this is it. This is kind of a big deal when this happens. So we will see, but again, a lot of more reasons to be looking at the short side, especially if the market starts to head down, follow it, take the shorts. The market starts to head up, just be a little more cautious if you're taking longs. But it doesn't look good. VIX closes down 79 cents to 1762, and then we'll run through some of the major stocks here. Apple up 45 cents, kind of near the highs, but not really. Amazon down $3.10. Sucking wind lately. Facebook down $1.11. Another one. This hasn't gone anywhere in months. This is where it was last June. Google up 33.89. Hasn't gone anywhere for 6 months either, really. Goldman Sachs down $12.74. Funny thing is, that's a pretty big down day for Goldman. 12 points on the $309 stock, but it's still basically right where it was last June. So strange. Netflix down $3.62, getting a bear flag there on Netflix. Something to watch tomorrow. Peloton, by the way, can't get over how good that sell signal was on Netflix. Peloton down $2.07. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down 55 cents. Tesla's up 41.82. Trying to come back up after selling off from that 13th sell signal. Zoom down $5.32. There's nothing positive about Zoom, by the way. Just awful. Bitcoin back up to 43,610. So bounced a little bit off that 40,000 level. Static trend line there around 40, just above that area. So far we've held and bounced above that. We'll see if that holds. That's about it. The biggest thing to worry about is that trend reading. That is not a positive by any stretch of the imagination. In terms of intraday action, let's just look at 5-minute charts here, not 10, so we can just see, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday so far. Monday, a little gap down, started to get interesting, and then just kind of rebounded back to close even. Tuesday, flat all morning, a little push up ahead of lunch, and then just dead flat, and almost the rest of the afternoon, a slight drift up. And then you look at Wednesday, it's like this little gap up. Tried to go higher, but barely got over the opening 5-minute candle, sold back off, filled the gap, and then just dead flat. This is not what you usually see in January, so it's kind of disappointing to watch, but there's nothing you can do. We've had, like I said, just selective calls, and things have worked. I had another winner today in T2 and whatnot, but, don't go nuts. Not worth it. In terms of economic data for the rest of the week, and again, I'm going to point out, 3-day weekend ahead. Monday markets are closed for MLK. So on Thursday, we've got the PPI and the initial and continuing jobless claims numbers an hour before the bell. Natty gas at 10:30. 30-year bond auction at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And then there's some numbers out of Europe overnight going into Friday. And then we've got core retail sales, import-export prices at 8:30 a.m. Friday here in the U.S. Industrial production capacity utilization at 9:15. And preliminary University of Michigan sentiment along with business inventories at 10. That's about it. So I'm not sure what to expect for the rest of the week, but it doesn't seem like much. Certainly not Friday. Let's hope for some action Thursday. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Thursday, Friday, and a good long weekend.